Hi everybody, welcome to my treasure book series. This one is a book called The Essentials of Cooking by a gentleman named James Petersen. A lot of times when I do my treasure book series, those you've been watching, know that I might have met the people who authored the books. In this case, no, I've never met James Petersen, but I've certainly spent a lot of time with his books, especially this book here, The Essentials of Cooking. And the reason that I spent so much time with it primarily has to do with our son. Our son grew up in the restaurant business essentially. Maybe that's because of this. He did though. He grew up in the restaurant business and he learned from an early age many things, starting the pastry department. To my surprise, after he did some traveling and wandering around like his parents did at one point in time, he came back to where we were living at the time, which was Key West, and he said, "Dad, I want to learn how to cook." Now, Justin is an extremely thoughtful person, and he's a very smart person. So I was stunned. What do you mean, teach you how to cook? You've been cooking for many years in a restaurant, in our restaurant, in other people's restaurants. But he really wanted to drill down on the essentials of cooking. Very scientifically minded kid. He was a kid at the time. I think it was around 2006 when he returned to live with us in Key West. And so we began a program where I used primarily this book, a few others, but this book, to set out a curriculum for him to work with food, not just read a book and tell me about it, read some recipes and say this was inspiring. No, it was dinner, or it was lunch, or it was breakfast, and it was him cooking it with me giving him some guidance. This book was magnificent in that it broke the techniques down so well. The very first book that I bought and fell in love with was The Theory and Practice of Good Cooking by James Beard. I haven't done that one as part of my treasure book series yet because I'm almost like saving it because it was my first book, and that's a very special thing. Mr. Petersen writes, "Sometimes when I'm flipping through cookbooks in bookstores, I'm left with a gnawing feeling that there are certain things about cooking that I need to express, a sense of something missing, something left unexplained. Like the frustration of being in a discussion at a dinner party and feeling unable to get an important point across. It was this frustration that spurred me to write this book. I decided that I wanted to create a kind of guidebook or reference of techniques for people who may be used to cooking from recipes, but want more confidence and a sense of freedom." That's Justin in the kitchen. "Recipes are tyrannical, often intimidating, and even though I've written thousands of them, I question their effectiveness in teaching people how to cook. Techniques, on the other hand, teach us how to get the most out of an ingredient and challenge us to use our intuition and follow our palates." Another extremely helpful book or series of books for me is still the Time Life series called the Good Cook series. Now let's get into this for a few minutes. He starts off wisely with basics. Peeling vegetables. Here's asparagus, here's eggplant, here's turnips. How to get the most out of fennel. Look at all the photos. I looked up how much this book would cost before I did this sit down with you, and I saw some that were used but in great shape for less than $10, some around $5. So I'm not suggesting you go out and spend $50 for this book, which maybe I did when I bought it, but $50, man, that was a bargain when all the things that I got out of it and all the things I was able to help our son get out of it. How to make a fish broth. Roll and cut fresh pasta dough. How to roast vegetables. This may seem very simple to some of you, but really, with his step-by-step guide and the photos, you're going to see how to do it without wasting time, wasting vegetables, wasting other ingredients, wasting money, all of these things. Poaching fruit. Here's how to shuck oysters. That's not easy for many people. Actually, I've been to the stores and seen folks line up in front of the fish counter and ask the people working behind the counter to shuck the oysters for them so they could take them home to a party, whatever, shucked. That's not a good decision because all that beautiful liquid is the oyster. 50% of the experience or more is in drinking that essential liquid. How to cut raw lobster into sections. Cut up a chicken. These are the things that are so incredibly important to the benefit of the person who wishes to cook at home. And isn't that us? Those of us that love treasure books? Meat. It's the gamut. I mean, it goes throughout everything. I wish I had a half an hour to go through this whole thing with you. But let's just, let's spin this around for a moment, camera lady. Just show the beauty of these pictures. What's this say? Prepare and braise a large rabbit. It's hard for me to read upside down. Well, rabbit, small or large, I don't know how many you've had in your life or how many you've prepared, but if you ever wanted to, James Petersen's Essentials of Cooking can take you there. Trimming a rack of lamb. The holidays are coming. People want these things. They want beautiful food. Don't deny yourself the opportunity to be the person who does it yourself. Buy this book or books like it, James Beard, the Time Life series, Poultry and Eggs. I mean, I just want to implore you to do it yourselves, to take on something that is going to be part of your life forever if it's not already part of your life. We eat every day, some of us 3 times a day. And with books like this and the knowledge that's transferred through them, you are going to become 10 times more confident and such a better cook. And I guarantee that. I will talk to you soon with another book and hope you have a beautiful day and a beautiful meal, whatever the next one is. Thanks a lot.